Radical.
All right, let's see if I can muster up the motivation to talk about Smash JT for a couple minutes. Let's see if I can do that. Where's the motivation? Let me see if I can find the motivation. Might not be able to find it, but I'll try. Somebody told me I need to check out an upload on the Smash JT channel. I'm thinking like, whoa. He left YouTube, I guess. So I was thinking he left YouTube, but now he's back. You know, what are you doing, man? You playing peekaboo? Oh, peekaboo. Channel's here, channel's gone, channel's here, channel's gone. Okay. So let's hopefully hope that, he's back for good. Because this is not a bad upload. Not a bad upload. Smash JT is an upload titled Okay. I actually agree with Pat the Nest Punk. He started waving that white flag. And this was a long time coming. Actually agreeing with Pat the Nest Punk. Pat the Nest Punk and Ian, to a lesser extent, say what you will about him, and I sure say a lot about them e-begging and them actually having Patreon questions. Imagine that. Imagine that. How scummy it is to charge people actual money to answer questions on your YouTube hobby videos. That's kind of shitty. It is. So there's a lot of things to criticize Pat and Ian on, but one thing collectively I think most people agree on, is their takes on the Amico and how consistent they have been throughout the years. They have been consistent throughout the years on the Amico. They were saying things about the Amico. They were predicting things about the Amico that actually came to be. The missing of launch dates, the just a lot of stuff. Okay, so when it comes to education on the Amico, I would say Pat's podcast with Ian and everything, that's not a bad place to go for actual legitimate criticism of the Amico. You won't find a lot of criticism of the Amico on Smash JT's channel. That was until this upload, because he waved that white flag. He gave up the ghost, basically came back and said, okay. When it comes to the Intellivision Amico, I was wrong. I hope it comes out. I got $10,000 invested. I'm just messing with you. It wasn't about Pat the Nest Punk. Well, it was, but it wasn't about Pat the Nest Punk and their differences on the Amico, right? You would think that, though, by the title. You would think, okay, man, he's back. And he's agreeing with Pat the Nest Punk, and it's about the Amico. You would think that by the title. Not the thumbnail, though, because the thumbnail is about the bubble. But kind of a misleading title, I'll say. But unless this actually leads to more agreement on things with Pat the Nest Punk in the future. This might be a softening to that future where he kind of realizes that, well, Pat's going to be correct about the Amico. If it even actually ever releases. What does the description say here? Pat the Nest Punk and I have had our fair share of differences when discussing the Intellivision Amico, but that doesn't mean we disagree on everything. Carl Jobst exposed the scam and fraud that is Heritage Auctions and Wata Games coming together to collude on retro game price values, and it is wrong on so many levels. Well, I won't say I thoroughly enjoyed this upload. I did check it out, and it's okay. I guess it's one of Smash's better uploads, but that's just because he's talking about something other than the fucking Amico, I can only stand so many Amico propaganda uploads by YouTubers. I can only stand so much of that. But this is not that bad. He hits a lot of good points in this. Around the 9-minute mark is where it got kind of good. And he's talking about limited run games. He's talking about MJR. He's talking about how, the focus on the pricing is actually kind of ruining the fun of retro gaming, which I 100% agree with. I just talked about earlier this guy, Phoenix Sales or something like that, who was a really scummy dude, basically, going to these conventions, going to tables, begging people to get the price down on these games, and then going to other tables and flipping those games, I think that there's a world to where people can actually be reasonable resellers, and they could actually if they want to, maybe sell a game that they've collected and make a little bit of a profit. I think there's a world where we could have that happen. And we could connect gamers, and we could have like a, sort of a truce between, the people that actually just like collecting to play and people that collect, for investments and to sell. But we see a perversion, though, when it comes to WATA and, heritage, because it was a direct connection. It was a collusion, 100% collusion. Now, you brought up how some people, point to MGR and a lot of YouTubers and everything as, affecting the game market, but it's not on the same level because they're directly in collusion trying to affect the market on sealed games. Even some sealed games, there was one that was pointed at Tomb Raider that even had a bad shrink wrap. Bad shrink wrap, but still was, valued a lot higher than it's supposed to be valued. The propaganda to take these games, the propaganda to actually take these games that are sealed and actually, put out a statement, hey, what this game is, there's probably going to be a game that's sold for $1 million. And then, boom, there's a game sold for, over $1 million. It's kind of weird how that works, right? So he talks about the bubble. I've talked about the bubble many times before. We've seen the game collecting bubble now. We've seen it, the coin collecting bubble. We've seen it comics. We've seen Beanie Babies. And a lot of people want that bubble to burst. That bubble bursting would be, I guarantee you, one of the best things for gaming. Just the actual gamers that want to play the games. And I mean, I think it's mostly kind of like what's going on is a war between the gaming players and the game investors. But again, I say that there's actually some area for both of those to coexist, but you got your extremes. You got your people that don't think any game should be worth more than a certain amount. And there are some games out there that are actually truly rare. There's some games that are actually rare and they should be valued at a certain amount, more than other games. But there's some people that actually think that some of these sealed games should go for over $1 million, which is fucking absurd. It is fucking absurd. Even if there's like 10 copies of that game in existence, no plastic shell should go for that much money. How will I finish this out? Let me go ahead and feature one comment, from this comment section. I looked over these previously, but let me make a pick from one. Who gets the comment of the day on this upload? Well, it's going to be Starlink. That's exactly how I feel when I collect games. They're valuable to me for the love of the game, not how profitable it may become in the future. When I buy any single retro game, there is a limit of $100 that I simply won't cross, no matter how much I may want it. I'm definitely one of those patient people who is waiting for this retro gaming bubble to pop, so I can grab the few games I actually want without spending ludicrous amounts for it, laugh out loud. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a day where you could actually go out back into the wild and you could actually get all these games and complete your actual collections?